Hi everyone, my name is Mary Villarreal and I graduated from UC Irvine in 2018 in chemistry, and I'm currently a second year master's student at Cal State LA majoring in chemistry, and this fall I'm going to start my PhD program. I got accepted to University of Michigan in their chemical biology program and Johns Hopkins in the molecular pharmacology program. So I don't know where I'm going yet, but I do have to choose between the two pretty soon. Before I start talking a little bit about myself, I just want to thank you all for hearing me out, hearing my experience. I hope maybe, you guys can learn something from it. And I would like to thank my very dear friend, Shaq Risota. She was my first year roommate, and we shared a lot of good, funny stories, and she helped me get through a lot. So thank you, Shaq, for being a really good friend, and I wish you nothing but the best. Okay, so a little bit about myself. I am a first generation college student. So neither of my parents went to college. My mom graduated from high school, my dad did not, and my brother, I have only one older brother, he did not go to college. He graduated from high school and he's been working ever since. So, it's kind of weird, not weird, but all I can say, it's kind of been a journey to get to where I'm at now, wanting to do a PhD program. It didn't just fall out of the idea didn't fall out of the air. Just with time and different experiences, I was able to cultivate this idea of wanting to go to a PhD program. So it all started from high school when I took anatomy, and I was, learning about cells and muscle and the bones, like just learning what goes on in our body was very intriguing. So my counselor at the time recommended doing an ROP program for nursing. And I did that, and did that for, I don't remember the time, but it led me to apply to Citrus College in a nursing major. So I was taking the nursing prerequisites, and I was taking intro to biology, and I fell in love with DNA replication, the uh, what else? DNA synthesis. I love learning about point mutations, how it causes, different diseases, and it was just mind blowing. Just understanding that we come from a single cell, and the hydrogen bonds, the nucleotides, like this essentially makes up life as we know it. To me, it was just so captivating. At the time, and then I just knew, I was like, okay, I want to learn more about this stuff. So I applied, I applied a transfer in 2008, 2015 in chemistry. I applied as chemistry and not biology because I was at Citrus College a little longer than I expected. I had a few personal issues come up where I had to withdraw from school twice. So that kind of made me feel a little behind. And so I just felt rushed, and I really wanted to move forward and learn more about biology and chemistry. So I did chemistry because it was faster. But when I got to UC Irvine, I was basically like a sophomore level. I was taking my first year OChem, and I was taking the 97, 98, and 99 series. But so I'm taking my classes, and I had the intentions of switching to biology, which I did the end of the first quarter. But it was the second quarter, so I'm taking biochemistry, and I taking my second round of OChem, and I fell in love with OChem, and it was even more clarity to my wanting to understand biology at the level of chemistry. Learn about how the different carboxyl group is decarboxylated and then goes through this process, and I really loved it so much. So I transferred back into chemistry, and I stuck to it. And I told you, I graduated in chemistry, but I really liked understanding biology at the level of chemistry. At the time, I didn't know what I wanted to do yet, so I thought, okay, me not knowing what careers are out there with a chemistry degree, I thought, oh, I'll do medical school. What else do you do? I don't, my parents don't, can't offer me personal advice. So just kind of thought, okay, I don't like nursing, but MD sounds pretty promising. And I did the Hope Scholar program in City of Orange, and I eventually started my volunteer hours. So if you're uncertain whether you should do what you want to do and you think you want to do MD, I highly recommend please volunteer because, it will literally make or break you. Like, you either really like it or you don't. At least that's for my experience. I realized, like, okay. And so I got out of there pretty quickly. But that left me with wondering what am I gonna do? I want to help people. I like understanding, studying diseases and what causes diseases, and the anatomy. I like what a medical student would study, but I don't want to actually be there treating patients. And so I met with Dr. King at the end of my at the end of the year for my first year there, and she said, okay, so you like OChem, but understanding biology with the OChem level, and she's like, you should consider going to school for medicinal chemistry, a PhD program. You should get into research. And so she kind of opened up the door for me with that, and I eventually applied to different research labs. I should mention before that, so in spring quarter, I met with Dr. King, but after finishing 98, I emailed a bunch of professors asking if I can join their lab in biochemistry. Didn't get accepted, so, on with the quarter, and that's when I met with Dr. King. And at the time, I got into a RU at South Dakota School of Mines for summer 2016. And when I came back, I emailed a bunch of professors asking, can I join your lab? They were mostly OChem professors, and I got into Scott Riknowski's lab. He's a total synthesis lab. And I applied to the chemistry labs. I remember I did chemistry day, a lab day. I'm not sure if Dr. King still hosts it, but she essentially invites undergrads who are looking into different research labs, and you get tours of the different labs, and you meet students who are in the labs. They share their experience, like what they're doing and their next steps, and that really helped out in, wanting to join, because I remember I was in Vanderwall's lab, and the grad student, he was talking about his project, how he's making this molecule, which is essentially used for a drug that inhibits the, one of the polymerase, one of the subunits, and this is potentially a cancer therapeutic. And right there, hook, line, and sinker, I was like, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to help people. I want to study chemistry, study biology, but I don't want to work with people. So I did that for my remaining 2 years at UC Irvine, and it wasn't until my senior year when I had to apply. No, I didn't have to, but I applied to PhD programs my senior year. So, what was it, fall 2017? At the time, I loved OChem. I loved learning it, but I realized after being in lab for 2 years, it wasn't really my thing. Like, I knew I couldn't see myself doing, I knew I couldn't see myself being in a PhD program for 5 or 6 years in lab. But because I didn't really know anything else, and I was, around other grad students, they were very encouraging and helpful. I was kind of influenced to still apply to a PhD program, and, what else do I know? So I applied to 10 schools, all chemistry programs, but I knew at the time that wasn't really what I wanted to do, but I still applied anyways. And my GPA was not too hot at the time. I just finished physics. I was taking the 7 series, and I got my first F ever in college, and I had really low GPA. Uh, my GRE scores weren't too great, and I'm sure I didn't read it, my personal statement, because if you don't know what you want to do, you're not gonna how are you gonna persuade someone when you don't even know what you want to do? So, all in all, I did not get accepted to any schools. I was very upset, uh, slightly depressed. I thought this is what I wanted to do. I felt like my whole world was crushed because up until that time, everything I applied to, I always got, with my research experiences, scholarship. I was working in the stock room. Everything I applied to, I got it no problem. And so this was kind of like an ego blow for sure. And it was really hard to accept because, you see your peers getting accepted, they're going to the interviews, and you felt very left behind. And for about a few months, I was very depressed. And it was just one day I kind of woke up and realized, like, I can't be sad and not move forward with my life. So I reached out to one of my letter rec, and I told him I didn't get accepted anywhere. What should I do? And he told me beforehand that I might want to consider a master's program, but I was so stuck on the idea. I was like, no, no, I'll for sure get it. I was cocky at the time. And he told me about this master's program at Cal State LA through the MBRS RISE program, which is basically a minority program where you get paid for your master's. So I've been doing this for 2 years, and um, he he helped me get into the program. It was Dr. Weiss and I forgot her name, uh, Dr. Finlayson Pitts. They both, I reached out to both of them, and they helped me get into the program. They knew the director of the program, and so that's how I got into my master's. It wasn't my first choice, but I wasn't going to give up on wanting to make medicine for patients, make drugs. That's kind of, if there's one thing I do know, it's I want to make medicine for cancer patients. And so I didn't feel ready. I didn't want to work. I knew where I was lacking in my application for a PhD program, but I I still wanted to, I still applied thinking I was going to get in. So they helped me get in, and I was still pretty emotional when I did. I'm sorry, I went through the interview pretty straightforward. Why do you want to do research? If this were to happen, what would you do? What do you see yourself in the next 5 years? After the interview, a few weeks later, I got accepted, and I've been here for 2 years now, and I realized at first I did not want to do the program. Obviously I was so dead set on getting into a PhD program, but I'm very grateful things happened the way they did. I realized, I was not ready for a PhD program. One, I didn't even know what I wanted to do. I know I didn't want to be in an organic lab, but I didn't understand really what a PhD program is, and without this master's program. And so from my understanding, most of you want to do MD. I recommend you guys to, join a lab, do the volunteering, do whatever it takes for you to really see if that's what you want to do, and understand that it's not going to be easy, and you guys, you want to make sure this is something you really want to do, you're going to invest in, and really understand. It sounds so cheesy. So as I was saying, all cliche, but you guys follow your heart, do what you want to do. Honestly, you guys, if there's anything I want you guys to hear from me, it's don't do what you really want to do. And I know sometimes things come up, you have to finish a certain requirement, whatever it may be, just whatever you do, make sure you're happy and don't give up. It's gonna be hard and you're gonna want to give up a lot of times, but as long as you put one foot in front of the other and don't don't think of things, months from now. Just realistically, like, okay, by the end of this week, I need to accomplish this. I need to finish this. Make small steps towards your goals, and you're gonna get there. You and For me, I'd mentioned how I got rejected from all 10 schools the first time. I was self-loathing. I was just I was depressed. I was very antisocial. And finally, I broke out of that bubble and I was like, okay, snap out of it. I need to do something. Yes, I messed up. Yes, I had a terrible GPA. What the heck am I thinking? At the time, I had a 3.0. Minimally, it was like, what, 3.2. So I knew it was going to be very difficult for me to get in, but I still tried anyways. And once I realized, okay, I need to pick myself up, I reached out to the professors and they really helped me, open my horizons. Like, okay, there's, post-bac, and then there's this master program that pays for you to not only get your master's, but, you're going to improve your GPA. They help you, get into PhD programs. And so for me, it was a really great fit, even though it wasn't initially what I wanted to do. I would say you guys be open to experiences, and sometimes things don't work out initially how you wanted. That's great. Some students, you get into everything first shot. That's amazing. You worked hard and you should be proud of yourself. And then there are other students who, you're kind of learning as you go. This is your first time. You have a few slip ups, like, oops, you maybe got a C in a class. It's realistic. It happens. And you may feel discouraged and not wanting to pursue your dreams, but I promise you, if you really want to do something, it will happen. You will do everything you can to make it happen. And so whether that's, don't be afraid to reach out to people. Reach out to a professor. For me, it was Dr. King. She showed me, there's other jobs. She helped me find out, what research is, what kind of career I would want to pursue. She helped me with that. They're my mentor. Once you join a research lab, you're going to work for a graduate student, and they're going to be the closest person to you, and they'll definitely help you along the way. And then, reach out to your professors. I know in Irvine, you're in class with so many students, but seriously, go out above and beyond, because those people will know someone. They have connections. UC Irvine is a great school. They're gonna have connections to whatever you want to go to. So, don't be afraid to reach out. You guys are already in a group. That's great. Help each other out. Honestly, the only way you're gonna be able to move forward, persevere through bumps in the road, is when you have someone there with you along the side, helping each other out. Um, for me, I was working part-time. I was doing research. I was taking all these hard classes, but it was helpful for me. Everything was helpful for my application and for my master's program. Okay, I was in a chemistry lab, or I worked in the chemistry stockroom. I made solutions. I knew the different glassware. I was very familiar with lab settings. So everything helped me get into my master's program, which then helped me now is getting me into my PhD program. So if you don't have a great GPA, or maybe you want to try something else, please, like, don't give up. Keep trying. There's postbacks. You can get a job. And then reply in a year or two. For you guys, you need to study MCAT. Please take that serious, because oh, I'm just gonna study for a little bit. No, no. Don't think that. You need to study. Everything is based on your MCAT scores. So if you can, take it while being in Irvine, great. You should do that. But be honest with yourself. And if you think that you need more time for a class or something, you don't want to jeopardize that, then do it after. Don't worry. Realize this is your life. What you want to do, you're the only one who's going to be taking the test. You're going to have the anxiety. No one's going to be walking in your shoes. So, be comfortable and understand school is a personal choice. You don't have to. You can choose whatever major you want to do. And so make sure you're investing in yourself, your career. Make sure it's something you love and don't give up along the way. I know I keep saying that, but it's really easy to think, okay, I'm just gonna work, or, maybe I'll get around to it, but like, I wanna work hard towards my dream. I wanna make a drug for cancer patients. I'm gonna do this in order to achieve it. Do it. Don't be afraid. Be fearless. Don't give up ever, because there's gonna be so many times. I know I keep repeating myself. I'm sorry. And maybe I should tell you guys why I keep repeating myself, because I went through very hard life-changing moment many years ago when I had to drop out of school. I mean, I don't have, that was 10 years ago, but at the time, it's everything, my whole life crumbled. I was barely getting started with Citrus College, and everything changed in seconds. My life changed, and it was really hard to build myself up, and completing school, and then just felt like the world was against me. It just made school that much harder, but I knew I wanted to learn. I wanted to study. I knew I had a gift or natural curiosity. I wanted to continue school, and so for me it was like, you can throw anything at me, I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna keep going, because my life, I want to make a change. I want to see difference. I want to reach for the stars. Like, it there's nothing getting in my way. And so I know it's hard sometimes, emotionally, physically, it's draining, studying, being in class with all those students and trying to do research, volunteering. It's difficult, but it's an investment, and it's going to pay off towards the end. So whatever you guys do, just reach out, do what you love. And if you have questions on anything, you're thinking about changing your major, or changing whatever you're gonna, if you have questions or doubts, be open, be honest, try other things. I messed up. I wish during Irvine, after my first year, I was like, okay, I like research. I like this research lab, but I felt like I was trying so many different things. By that time, that was already my third research experience. I thought, okay, I should know by now what is it I want to do. So I stuck with the lab. I felt very comfortable, but I knew that that's not what I wanted to do. So I wish I would have tried a second lab my last year, and maybe I would have applied to a different program, but I'm happy the way things turned out. Everything, I'm finally doing my PhD program, and I'm not doing chemistry. I'm more driven towards health science, biomedical type program where your science is strictly influenced by improving health. So it took me a really long time to figure this out, guys, but I'm so glad this is where I'm at now. I can't imagine myself doing anything else, anything different. I absolutely love my job. It doesn't even feel like a job, because, in reality, I'm a research assistant. I get paid. This program pays me $25,000 a year. It's not that much. It's really like minimum wage, but it's pretty nice. For me, I didn't work. I worked part-time, so I didn't get close to this amount of money, but what I'm trying to say is, right now, I work, but it doesn't feel like work. I feel like I have so much fun. I'm in lab, designing experiments, running experiments on my own, reading research papers that are in topics that I like, and for me, it helped me with my presentation skills. I got to improve my GPA. In this program, they specialize in master's students transitioning into PhD programs. So I went to a lot of conferences. I went to, Abercams. We did, I presented at a few other symposiums. So it's been a really great experience. And so don't be afraid to try something that wasn't your original plan. If you need to improve in your GPA, or maybe you need more research skills, or more volunteer, do whatever it is, that you need to do to improve your application. And don't worry about your age. Right now, I'm 27. I get a lot of people asking me, oh, I have a boyfriend. We've been together for a while. Like, when are you gonna have kids? When are you gonna have family? Don't you want to be a certain age? Like, you're getting older. You want to have kids. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, this is my life. I don't need to have kids because I'm a certain age, or I don't need to get married because I'm a certain age. This, no one's walking in my shoes, and I'm finally living my life. I am doing exactly what I want to do. I've recently, before coronavirus, I was in London and Paris and Mexico, and been traveling. And you know what? Honestly, you guys, don't worry about getting older. Being older and being in school, it's fine. It's things happen, and don't be ashamed of your age, or oh, I didn't go right away and now I'm getting older. Don't worry about it. That's what society thinks. But it's your life. At the end of the day, it's gonna be you paying those bills. What if you have a house payment? It's all on you. So don't worry about what other people think about you, what your family says about you. Always stick to what you want to pursue in life, and don't give up. It's gonna get hard. So, whether you're a senior or a sophomore, you know what you want to do, you have no idea what you want to do, do what makes you happy and what makes you excited, something you want to spend hours studying, something you can't get enough of, follow that. And if you get a C or occasional B, and it's okay, it's not the end of the world. The worst case scenario, you get rejected, and then always have a plan B. That was my mistake. I was just so egotistical. I thought, oh, I'm for sure gonna get in wherever. No, that's not the case. That doesn't, realistically, I mean, yeah, maybe you're a 4.0 student, you have everything off the charts, like, that's very possible, but realistically, you kind of have a few slip-ups. That's okay. Just make sure whatever you do, have a plan B. Do what you love, and don't be afraid to reach out to others. Reach out to professors. That's what they're there for. I mean, yeah, they're giving you guys a test and a million homework assignments and lab work, but, ultimately they have their PhD, they have the credential, they know the process. It might not be, some professors may know are more inclined to understanding, the medical school route, others for PhD. Don't be afraid to reach out, whatever